So there's tons of new changes when it comes to transiting from 482 visa to 186, and these are all recent changes, and please make sure you follow watching this video so that you understand exactly what you need to do so that you reap all the benefits out of it. If this is the first time you see me, my name is Johnny. I'm a migration lawyer based in Sydney, and I post daily content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, and now weekly content on YouTube, and I help you to get PR faster by posting migration news and regulations and updates. Quality ones, of course. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, when it comes to transiting from 482 to 186, in general, there are two major requirements that you have to focus on. Number one is you must continue to meet the 482 visa conditions. Number two, you must meet the eligibility of the 186 visa. So when it comes to 482, there are three pathways, as you know, and for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to talk about the labor agreement streams, as the PR pathway is already embedded in the labor agreement and things can be very different. So I'm not going to mislead you on this. So for a general pathway, like the core skill pathway and the specialist skill pathway, normally you need to hold the 482 visas for at least 2 years before you transit to the 186. In order to transit to the 186, you need to have an employer to sponsor you for this transfer. Now, here are the new stuff that comes up. In the good old days, before the skills in demand visa, you only have 60 days to find a new employer. If you made redundant, you resigned, or for whatever reason you stopped being employed, then you only have 60 days and you couldn't work for the new employer until the nomination has started. Now, the new changes that came in not long ago, which addressed this massive issue, because the processing time for getting a nomination has increased to almost 1 to 2 months, and it's a bit hard for employers to secure new talent, or it's actually a bit hard on the employer as well, because they really want this person to work with them straight away, but the law prohibits the employee to work until the nomination is approved. Now, for this current new rule is the moment that you resigned or you made redundant or got terminated, you have 180 days to find a new sponsor. And during these 180 days, you can do whatever you want. You can work for anyone. However, if you want to work for your new sponsor, in the old days, you must wait for the nomination to be approved, and now you don't have to. Within these 180 days, as long as you submit a valid nomination application, then you can start working for your new employer without the need of waiting for the nomination to be approved. And to put the cherry on top is that you will need to work under the 482 visas for at least 2 years before you become eligible to transfer to a 186. And now for the 2 years period, they will also start counting the moment that you submitted your nomination. So what it means is if you have decided to depart from your original sponsor, then the 180 days kicks in. And then if on the 100th day, you submitted a valid nomination on a 482 visa, then from that moment, you'll be able to count the 2 years. Okay? In the old days, you can't. If you submitted a nomination on the 100th day, you need to wait until the nomination has been approved, maybe 20 days or maybe 200 days. Then you can start working for the new sponsor. So this is actually good stuff. And then the 2 years period start counting from the 100th day, which is the day that you submitted your nomination application, then for 2 years. Now, there's another requirements that not a lot of people actually talked about, is that we all know you have 180 days to find a new employer, but there's actually a cap on it, because this 180 days literally has no strings attached. You can work for anyone, you don't have to work if you don't want to, and it's basically a period of time for you to find a new sponsor. And then the cap here is that you can only have 365 of these 180 days during the visa period of your current visa. Say, for example, if you hold a 482 visa for 4 years and you use 100 days to find a new sponsor during these 4 years, then you only have 265 days left to find new sponsor if you decided to resign for the next one. And also, for any one time that you resign and find a new sponsor, you only have 180 days. You can't go any way more than that. If you go more than that, then you are actually in breach of the 482 visa condition, which is not a good thing. Okay? Now, once you have held 482 visas, for at least 2 years, then you can ask your sponsoring employer to sponsor you on a 186. In the old days, you have to work with the same employer, but now you don't have to. You can work with multiple different sponsors as long as they are sponsors, and then all the employment periods will be counted to the 2 years requirements that leads you up to the 186 visa. So this provides massive perks for people who is actually holding a 482 visas, and it allows a lot more convenience to people who are aiming to get PR through this. And last but not least, once you become eligible to apply for 186, you can't just submit an application. You will need to get an employer to go through a nomination process to nominate you officially for the 186 temporary residence transition stream. So once they have submitted a nomination, you can launch a visa against that nomination, and then if you're successful, you get your permanent residency of the subclass 186 PR. And I hope it is clear on how you can actually transfer from a 482 skills in demand visa to 186 transition stream. If you've got any questions, if you want any more of this content, hit the subscribe, like, share, and leave your comment in the comment section below. I'm Johnny, and I'm here to get you PR faster, and I see you in the next video.